Then we have President Trump, watch this, blasting the NFL. They're not enforcing even the new anthem protest policy. Here it is. The NFL national anthem debate is alive and well again. Can't believe it. Isn't it in contract that players must stand at attention, hand on heart? The $40 million commissioner must now take a stand. First time kneeling, out for a game. Second time kneeling, out for the season. No pay. Joining us now, Burgess Owens. He's the author of that book, Why I Stand, and he's a former Super Bowl champ himself. Burgess, it seems to me like this anthem policy problem is not going away. It's going to infect another season. That's the way it looks to me.
Yeah. Hi, Stuart. Good morning. Well, first of all, I'm not surprised. I actually talked about this in my book. Unfortunately, we have a league that is not about compassion for the black community. It's not about empathy for the black player, and it's not about patriotism or free speech. Matter of fact, I asked Jerry Jones about free speech. They fined him $2 million because he stood up against the commissioner last year. This is about a global reach, my friends. It's about a corporation that understands that they need to get past the American market. Just to run some numbers by you. The NFL capped out at $13 billion a couple of years ago. Last year, the last 2 years, they lost 20% of their viewership. They're down $30 million in ad revenue, and yet they're projecting $25 billion in the next 9 years with their global reach. And they just paid, again, a commissioner $40 million. $36 million of that is based on growth incentives. So how did they get there? They have to demean the NFL brand. They have to show the divisiveness so it can be attractive to countries like Germany and China and Mexico and wherever they want to go.
Really?
That does not get excited about the American brand. So
Really?
They're trying to look at the global reach out at this point.
That's fascinating, Burgess. You mean to tell me that the football authorities, they want to appeal on a global basis, so they don't mind showing American teams and American athletes being divisive? You know, it's almost on purpose to get a global audience. I can't believe that.
They're not clueless. These guys know exactly what they're doing, and they don't mind. Collateral damage, very simply, is the betrayal of the NFL fan. It is a message to the black community that this place is a place of no hope, but it does become attractive to the international fans and international players that they're trying to develop. This is the worst of the leftists. They can care less about patriotism, care less about our country. They care about their profits. I hope Americans really understand what they're doing, because this is what we're up against. It's elitists, Marxists, and socialists that we're up against, and we need to realize that they're trying to undermine our country at this point.
Okay, but to get back to the original point, it looks like the anthem protests will continue, and the dispute over those protests will continue. And again, I'm going to use the expression, football will be tainted for yet another season. You agree with that? That's what's happening?
I agree with it. And keep in mind, the NBA stopped this nil in the bud. And if the owners would have the courage to stand like the Dolphins were talking about doing, this would end immediately. Once players are made accountable for their actions, believe me, this would end. But they don't want it to end. They want to expand their global reach. So Americans need to understand what we're up against at this point.
Now, the new anthem policy was supposed to be you can kneel if you want to, but you don't do that on the field. You don't do that on the field of play. You don't do that in public. But that's no longer going to be enforced. What's the policy now, then, if they're not enforcing the old one?
They just put that on pause recently. And by the way, for players to go into the locker room, it's still demonstration. It's still showing the entire world that our country is divided, is racist, is not the place to be. So they need to end this. They need to end this demonstration. Let Americans watch the game. These elitists and leftists, go back to do what you do someplace else some other time, not on our dime, not when we're trying to watch a game that we've enjoyed for all these decades.